Mr. Mayor, we've got over here on the far table for you, and it's where everybody can sign it, so if you haven't got to sign it yet, please do so before you leave. Our speaker tonight is Mayor Sam Reichert. He's a lifelong resident of Olive Branch, graduating from Harding Academy in 1972. He attended Northwest Mississippi Community College, excuse me, and later received a certificate of broadcast meteorology from Mississippi State University in 2009. He was employed by Bell South for 25 years. Sam has served the Olive Branch community in his local church as a deacon, a trustee, and he currently plays clarinet in the orchestra as well as teaching Sunday school. He was a volunteer firefighter for 20 years, serving in all capacities, including chief. He also served as a volunteer with the Olive Branch Ambulance Service as an EMT. He served our city 2 terms as alderman before being elected mayor in 1997. As mayor, he has guided our city through our greatest periods of growth as well as through the recent recession. During his tenure, Olive Branch was twice recognized as one of America's best places to live by CNN Money magazine, as well as being named the fastest growing city in America by Bloomberg Business Weekly. CBS Sunday Morning featured Olive Branch and our mayor as well in the spring of 2011. Under his leadership, Olive Branch has continued to attract business, industry, quality residential growth, making our city a destination of choice for all. Sam has been married to his wife Paula for 39 years. They have 2 sons, 2 daughters-in-law, and 4 grandchildren. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Sam Reichert.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Chamber's 40th birthday party and this farewell event that signals a new beginning not only for me, but also for Olive Branch. There are many people here that I can thank tonight that played such an important role in making my 16 years as mayor a success. First, I would like to thank my best friend and wife, Paula, who has stood behind me and was my hardest campaigner. Thanks to my 2 sons, Stephen and Michael, and their families. They also spent countless hours campaigning and served as my unofficial sounding board on many occasions. They also found themselves defending my actions on more than one occasion. Also here tonight, I have my mother at the table that I was sitting at, my mother-in-law, Billy Mills, over here. They have always been so supportive and I could not have done what I've done without their help also. I am certain that Paula, Stephen, and Michael will appreciate not reading and sometimes fearing the news headlines that I could create. A special thanks tonight goes out to the late Jack McCauley, who was so important to the Chamber, this community, and me. Jack would drop by every month or so. We would eat lunch somewhere, and he would offer counsel, advice, and always listen to any concerns that I might have. He would always ask what he or the Chamber could do to help make Olive Branch a better place. Jack loved the Chamber, loved Olive Branch, and was my friend. This job as mayor has allowed me to experience things that I would never have imagined in 1989. I was privileged to be the chairman of DeSoto County's Republican Party when Haley Barbour was first elected as governor. This afforded me the opportunity to be on stage on the front row as President Bush made his visit to DeSoto County. I tell people that I didn't get to shake his hand, but there was only 20 feet of space between he and I. And that's a memory that I will never forget. When he left the stage, I walked up to the podium that still had the presidential seal on it, hoping that someone might take the picture of me standing behind it. But to my knowledge, that didn't happen. Over the past years, I've been fortunate to meet and work with Senators Cochran, Lott, and Senator Wicker, and our Congressman Alan Nunley on behalf of Olive Branch, DeSoto County, Mississippi. I've worked with Governors Fordyce, Musgrove, Barber, and now Phil Bryant. I've stood next to Senator Edward Kennedy at the elevators in the U.S. Capitol. And I moved to the sides of the hallways as then Senator Hillary Clinton was being escorted by the Secret Service through the Capitol. I was in Washington, D.C. during the impeachment hearings for President Bill Clinton and observed the media frenzy that was all associated with that. Another passion of mine, other than politics, has been meteorology. I completed my meteorology training at Mississippi State University in 2009 and received a certificate of broadcast meteorology. The Weather Channel called me in the spring of 2011 and I did a live interview with Jim Cantori at Tom Lee Park. Today I post a daily forecast on Facebook where DeSoto County and over 1,900 people follow that page. The growth of this city has been astounding, not only by our standards, but by those experts around the nation. You and I know that we have transformed from a small town of 3,500 in 1990 to the 8th largest city in Mississippi today with a population of over 35,000. As Bill read earlier, Olive Branch has been listed as one of America's top 100 places to live by CNN Money magazine, not once but twice during the past decade. We were featured on CBS News Sunday Morning a couple of years ago after being named the fastest growing city in the nation over the past 20 years by Bloomberg Business Weekly. I talked with a corporate executive from the Northeast a few months ago that had just located his major distribution facility in Olive Branch. I asked him about his Olive Branch experience. He told me that it was a pleasure doing business with our planning department and our fire department. He said, "We just wish there were more olive branches in America." We have been able to build a city that is very business friendly, but is also known as a safe and great place to live. Reputations like that don't just happen without good people taking pride in what they do. There are many factors that make all of this success possible, and I will not be able to cover all of those tonight. So I'll just touch on one that I think is most important. You have to have good leadership. You can have good people that are leaders, and you can have bad people that are leaders. History has shown us the results of both. Every successful organization has to have a leader. The chamber, the city, your businesses have to have good leaders. You hope that the leader casts a vision for the future, and you hope that the leader is able to motivate others on the team to follow and achieve that vision. At the City of Olive Branch, my philosophy has been to put people in place who are experts in their field, establish goals, and then let them do their jobs. We as citizens of Olive Branch are extremely lucky when you sit back and reflect on who has been in charge of this city and the various departments. Leadership is not something that you attain just because you've been placed in a job or a position. Leadership is earned, leadership is learned, and respect is earned. The next mayor needs to understand that it takes all departments being successful in order for the city to be successful. Scott Phillips understands that. Public safety is important. Public works is important. Planning and parks are all important. So you might ask the question, why have we been so successful here? We are successful because we not only have good people at the top, but we have good leaders throughout our organization. We have assembled a team of leaders in the various departments that believe that Olive Branch is a great place to live and also believes that we can continue to improve. I added up the number of years of experience that our department directors have, and they total well over 150 years. Now that in itself does not mean success, but success comes from experience and also a commitment to excellence. I believe that I've put people in place to lead our various departments that are highly respected and are experts in their field. Our police department, led by Chief Don Gammon, is now highly respected. By the way, congratulations are in order tonight to Chief Gammon. He was just elected as the second vice president of the Mississippi Police Chiefs Association. We were chosen again this year as a location for the National Law Fit Challenge. We have been at the forefront using social media such as Facebook and Twitter as we try to communicate with our public. Chief Gammons believes in interacting with our community. In fact, our police Facebook page at one time was the #5 police page in the nation, counting friends and fans. My last count showed that we had over 12,000 fans on the police Facebook page. But during times of crisis, you can find Chief Gammons out on the streets taking care of business. Our fire department, led by Chief Eason, is also highly respected, and they are constantly working within the department and with other city staff to improve our services and our rating. That rating has improved from a Class 7 in 1997 to a Class 4 today. At major fire scenes and incidents, you will see Chief Eason and now Mayor-elect Scott Phillips there taking charge. Our engineering department and public works department works tirelessly in all kinds of weather to provide you all those related services. When the weather gets bad, cold, nasty, hot, they are out there repairing water lines, gas lines, and clearing limbs. During severe storms or snowy ones, you can find Steve Bigelow and Cole Fessmeyer on the job taking care of business. Our award-winning parks department, led by Will McNear, prides itself on keeping our parks as nice as they can be. You have people behind the scenes who work in administration that take much pride in making sure that everything we do is in accordance with Mississippi law and is handled in an ethical manner. Olive Branch is recognized by our leaders of our state as a city that strives to get things right. Most of that credit goes to Brian Dye, our city attorney, Paula May, our director of administration, and Judy Harrington, our city clerk. I have been privileged to work with great people who have served on the Board of Aldermen who always wanted what was best for our city. I could probably go on for a while talking about the people behind the scenes that are necessary to make sure that you get what you're supposed to receive from your government, but I'll move on. A great city does not become great. Its reputation does not spread around the country like ours has without good people living in the city like each of you. A great reputation comes with people staying involved like each of you are involved. From time to time, I hear people say, I wish Olive Branch would stop growing and just be like it used to be. Most of you moved here because you liked what you saw. You moved here for the same reasons that people like me stayed here. The day that Olive Branch quits growing will be the day that we have lost the inspiration to be better. The day that we quit growing will be the day that the product that we sell, good service, safe streets, great jobs, and quality of life has gone away. We can protect that quality of life by working together and staying involved. I have been a part of many big industrial announcements. There have been many and hundreds of millions of dollars invested here that created thousands of jobs. Williams-Sonoma and FedEx Ground made the nation aware of Olive Branch. McKesson and Methodist Hospital have opened a new door for us, along with Governor Bryant's emphasis on enhancing Mississippi's healthcare industry. Solidyne, now View Incorporated, caused the green and high-tech fields to take notice of us. I have cut hundreds of ribbons at new business locations over the past 16 years, including Little Angels Photography and Old Town Investments, just to name a couple. So business, both large and small, see that each have a future and a purpose in Olive Branch. My hope when I leave office in 10 days is that you can honestly say Olive Branch is a better place now than when it was when Sam Reichert took office. That should be the hope and goal of our next mayor and Board of Aldermen. So here I am, 24 years after entering the public arena. I'm looking forward to being referred to as a former mayor, just like being the past chairman of the Republican Party looks good on a resume. I've been involved in over 600 public meetings as a mayor or an alderman. I will have served 8,766 days in public office. And I'd like to little note to the incoming mayor, Scott Phillips. The one issue that created more phone calls to my office than any other is when Halloween falls on Sunday. And people would call, and that happened twice, people would call and say, when is Halloween in Olive Branch? And I would say, October 31st. And some people got offended with that. But I'm here to tell you, Scott, that I've checked the calendar, and Halloween does not fall on Sunday until 2021, which will be your first year of the third term, okay? I am, of course, older, less hair, mostly gray, but I have a great wife, 2 sons and daughter-in-laws, 4 adorable grandchildren, and 1 on the way that I'm going to watch grow up. I'm looking forward to not feeling responsible for heavy rain and street flooding, cold temperatures and icy streets, roaming dogs, feuding neighbors, and decisions made by myself and the Board of Aldermen that possibly you don't agree with. As for my future, I would like to have more time to spend with family, including the grandchildren. I would also like to pursue any weather possibilities and might consult with other cities across Mississippi. I think that I have some experiences dealing with issues as a small town, and now the 8th largest city in Mississippi that might be of value. If not, Paul and I would just enjoy family and retirement. As far as the future of Olive Branch, I will leave the city with a strong foundation and an excellent reputation as being a great place to live and a great place to do business. People ask me over the last few months, why did you not run again? And I simply tell them that there's a time and a place for everything. It's just time for me to move on to other things. In times of crisis, in times of economic turndown, in times of perceived moral decay, you always hear people say, pray for our country, pray for our leaders. And let me say that I have always coveted and appreciated your prayers. Those prayers are good and they're needed. But we also need to understand that we too have a personal responsibility. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. So my understanding of that verse is this. The secret for healing and success does not lie merely with us praying that everyone else changes. The secret lies with each of us making sure that our personal lives are in order. We can't change others, but we can change ourselves. In conclusion, I believe that I leave you a city that is strong financially, well respected across the Mid-South and Mississippi, and is a place of choice to live, work, and play. I am confident that even better days are ahead of us, and that I leave this city in the good hands of Scott Phillips. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for allowing me to serve as your mayor. Thank you for the love and commitment that you have for Olive Branch. It has been an honor to serve you as mayor of Olive Branch. And if you call me after June 30th for a comment on what the next administration is doing, don't get your feelings hurt when I say, I have no comment. It's not my stage anymore. Good night, Olive Branch, and God bless.
We are going to miss you so much, and you have a standing invitation at our luncheons once a month.